Hey, if you're interested in learning how you can scale your rental portfolio to the moon, then guess what? You found the right video. Hey Daniel, cue in that intro please. Hey, how's it going, friend? Juab Pablo here, full-time real estate investor, online entrepreneur, and if you're new to the channel, we typically like to discuss the 3 pillars to financial freedom, which are personal finance, that deals with budgeting, it deals with credit, debt to credit ratio, all that good stuff, and a little dash of personal development and self-help. Now, we also like to discuss the second pillar, which is funding, having a repeatable source of investment capital. And third, real estate investing, where we like to emphasize investing in multi-units, multi-family properties. Why? Because it helps you get to financial freedom. Now, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. So that way, Google, YouTube, the algorithm can do its thing and provide you with additional videos that will help you along your journey towards becoming financially free. So without further ado, let's dive into the topic. All right, 72 units. You might be thinking, why 72 units? Well, I actually had a previous video, so just check the link below in the description to learn more. There's another recommendation that I'd like you to take a look at. But in the previous video, I shared the reasoning why I wanted to acquire 30 rental units. And the reason being was because that was my financial freedom number. I needed 30 units in my portfolio to say goodbye to the 9 to 5. But now I'm gonna share with you in this video, 72. Because most people think, well, if you only needed 30 units, why get more than what you need? Well, there's a reason behind that, but I'll jump into it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, I want to share with you how to scale to 72 rental units, all right? But first, I want to share with you that you got to make sure that you don't occupy the mindset that this will be a daunting task, right? Because if you think, man, 72 units, that seems like a lot. Man, even 5 seems like a lot. Man, even just buying my first property seems like a lot, because in my market, putting a 20% down payment on investment property means I got to put $70,000. I don't even make $70,000 a year, right? It can sound daunting, right? Especially if you think about the time involved to look at deals, the money involved, as I just shared, to buy properties on a repeatable basis, but it's not daunting. Only thing you need is just a specific goal with an actionable plan. That's pretty much it, all right? And we share these things with you within our community, okay? So don't be afraid or don't let that scare you, 17 units. So let's go ahead and dive into these 3 things I want to share with you first. All right, so here's 3 ways of how I was able to scale my portfolio to 72 units. So first thing, I kind of alluded to a few seconds ago, but I'll share with you again. You gotta have a proper goal and plan in place, right? So the video recommendation I shared with you earlier, what I did first and foremost is I calculated how much passive income that I needed to quit my day job. Okay, so let's say for instance, your monthly living expenses is $5,000 per month. So you might want a little bit over that in passive income, so that way your passive income can rival your paycheck. And once you get to that point, my friend, you no longer need the 9 to 5. In that case, you're financially free, you're financially independent, right? So you have to know with specificity how much passive income you need. And then you need to discover, okay, if I need X amount of dollars in cash flow or passive income, in other words, so I'm gonna use cash flow and passive income interchangeably. But how much cash flow can I get per unit? And then you calculate how many units you need in your portfolio. So once you know with specificity your monthly living expenses, the amount of passive income you need, the amount of units you need, then you have a good idea of what to aim for. And then what you can do is to start structuring in your calendar certain actionable steps you have to take to get to that goal. So for instance, let's say your goal is to quit your 9 to 5 in 3 years. So then you might say, okay, to reach my financial freedom goal, I need to acquire, let's say 60 rental, or let's say 30 rental units, right? So you break down the math, okay, 3 years to do 30, I need 10 units a year. Very simple. And I can probably buy a 5 unit every 6 months. Okay, and let me see how much it would take me to, as a down payment, to acquire a 5 unit every 6 months. Let's say $40,000. Okay, so I need to have $40,000 in capital every 6 months. So now you have an actionable plan. You start off with a goal and you have actionable plans. And then you want to structure in your calendar certain times, days of the week for you to work towards this plan. So if you're like me, I typically like to have a day or two to myself, to relax, since I do work hard. I'm a 9 to 5. This is me thinking back then, and have other commitments in my life. So you want to make sure you structure your spare time to allocate it towards your financial goals, right? So you might want to take Monday through Thursday, do 2 hours a day, so it's 8 hours right there. And then you might want to do 4 hours on Saturday or Sunday, whatever day you choose. So that's another 4 hours right there. So that's 12 hours in total that you can use to structure towards your goal. So that's the first thing I did before I even bought a single property. I made sure I had my goals and an actionable plan in place. Okay? You gotta be structured, baby. All right, now the second thing I did to help me scale to 72 units was this: finding the moolah, the money, right? Because at the end of the day, you can have goals and actionable plans and so forth, but if you don't have the paper, the money, in other words, to bring to the closing table, then it can be difficult to achieve financial freedom. Now, this is one thing I want to share. Now, when I say money, I don't necessarily mean having savings or liquid money in your account. There's a thing called creative financing in which you can use to acquire deals that require little to none of your own money out of pocket. There's many various ways. There's limited partnerships that you can structure. There's master lease options that you can do. There's seller financing. There's business credit. There's a ton of different sources of how you can obtain investment capital on a repeatable basis to acquire a large portfolio, in my case 72 units. But it just correlates or ties in to that previous point of your goals. Because once you have your goals in mind, then you will start structuring not only your time that I mentioned, but you start structuring your capital sources, your investment sources of capital. And I don't mean just yourself, right? Tap into your retirement accounts or saving or what have you, but you'll start learning and discovering other ways to creatively finance deals, okay? So you got to make sure that if, going back to your goals, if your goal was to acquire a 5-unit every 6 months, 10 units a year, then you will relate that to the money and say, okay, well, how can I make sure I obtain $40,000 every 6 months? Ooh, I can get $40,000 from this business credit card in January. Ooh, I can also get $40,000 by structuring a limited partnership in July, right? Oh, January of next year, I can get another round of business funding and I can do it again and repeat and repeat and repeat until you get closer to your goal of having a lot of units. Now, the third thing I want to share with you of how to raise your number of units to 72 or more, to exceed your passive income goal, is by finding deals in the right market. Because as I shared earlier about this goal being daunting, it's because you're probably just looking at the available inventory in your market. It could be overpriced. The inventory could be limited, or the affordable properties might be in bad areas, right? So being that you only see the properties that are in your backyard, so to speak, you might think, oh man, this will take me forever. Or, oh man, I can't do it because in my market, a duplex is $400,000. So that's a $80,000 down payment right there on investment property. You have to put 20% down. Or in my market, I don't have any multi-units, Juab Pablo. I know you're the man with that. I only have single families. So it'll take me forever to buy single family after single family to get the financial freedom. But here's the thing. Explore other markets. There's other markets that are yielding better returns, more profitable, more cash flow even more, in other words, as well as in safe areas. You just have to be able to do proper research and due diligence on these markets. So that way you can deploy, referring back to point 2, the investment capital, and then, going back to point 1, accomplish your goals, okay? Now, I also want to end with this. Oh, and by the way, I do have a video recommendation for you that relates to financial freedom. So you want to learn more about that, just check the link below in the description. Now, I do want to share with you this. So these 3 points I talked about to be able to scale your portfolio, but I want to answer the reason why I wanted to get more than 30. Because as I stated earlier, most people are content with just 30. I'm saying 30 because that was my financial freedom number. Yours might be 15, it might be 25, it may be 50, who knows. But most people are content with just having enough units in their portfolio to say goodbye to 9 to 5. And then once they do, they sit on the beach chair, kick their feet up, relax. They might do some charity, philanthropic work or what have you. And that's it. They just retire, right? But the reason why I wanted to pretty much double the amount of units I actually needed to say goodbye to 9 to 5 is for this reason. You want to have two types of goals when it comes to real estate. And I'm talking about buy and hold real estate, multi-units. The first goal is to have enough passive income to exceed your paycheck. We discussed that already. The second goal is this. You want to be able to improve your standard of living. Whether that's buying the toys that you want or adding more conveniences to your life. Let's talk about the toys. So once I got the 30 running units that say goodbye to 9 to 5, I was happy. I had enough passive income that exceeded my living expenses. It wasn't much, so I wasn't balling out of control. However, I was balling out of control where my time was concerned, if that makes sense. I was living the no alarm clock lifestyle. I would wake up whenever I feel like it. I kid you not. Whenever the sun hit my eyes and I feel like waking up, I woke up. I had 30 rental units. I was self-managing at the time, but it didn't require a full-time commitment. My tenants weren't calling me every day. I probably would spend maybe 4 to 10 hours a week doing real estate related activities. And I was carefree. I had no structure to my day, to my time. It was great. For a period of about a year or two, I never started an alarm clock. I just woke up whenever I felt like it, went to sleep whenever I felt like it. But then I realized that now that I have this abundance of time, I'm not necessarily fulfilling my purpose. I became financially free, so what is my purpose in life? What do I enjoy doing? Well, throughout college, I always enjoyed tutoring. I was always a tutor and so forth. I always enjoyed giving back, whether it's financially or through education. So that's the reason why I decided to start this video blog, 100% Finance. And I started doing that, giving back with my time. And I truly enjoyed it to the point it turned into a business. And not to get too off topic, but I realized, now I have two sources of income. One is passive through my rental portfolio, and another one is business income through 100% Finance. So then I realized, I should have a two-pronged approach to my income. So being that I started this business, I realized, I am living okay. I'm not balling out of control, but I have enough passive income in which I'm happy and have freedom of time. But what if I could start adding more conveniences to my life and more toys to my life? Such as, let's talk about the conveniences. Such as, I'm doing property management. I'm also doing bookkeeping. I'm also cleaning up my place. These are activities that I do maybe at a mediocre level, and I'm not too thrilled about it. It doesn't give me joy or excitement. So I said, so why am I doing these tasks? Well, the reason why I'm doing it is because I only have enough units to pay my living expenses. And I want to increase my living expenses. I want to increase my standard of living. So let me just acquire more properties so I can add more conveniences to my life. So I can outsource and delegate more tasks to others. Hire a cleaning person, someone to cook my meals, someone else to do the bookkeeping, the accounting, finance, and all that good stuff. Someone else to manage my properties. So I started acquiring properties to outsource these things so that way I'm happier, and it also provides me more time, right? Because that's one last task I have to do. And then I said, okay, you know what? Maybe I can start increasing my amount of passive income so that I can increase the number of toys that I want. Because we're all human. We all have desires. Even though you meet a goal, you'll be content for a while, and then you want to strive for a bigger and better goal. Like the iPhone, right? You might have the iPhone. I have the iPhone 8. No shame about it, right? And it's fine. It works fine. But of course, many people are like, hey, why not get the 10? Why not get the 13? Why not continue to get better and better, right? Sure, it works, but why not improve the toys that you have? And so I say, you know what? I want to improve some toys. I want to drive a better car. Got an i8, right? I want to be able to live in a better place, floor to ceiling windows. I want to be able to buy more trips. I want to be able to take a trip once a month for 5 days. Just find a place and just kick it at an Airbnb or a hotel for 5 days out the month. So I wanted to scale my portfolio to 72 units so I can have an improved standard of living. Now, I implore you to not just meet your financial freedom goal, but exceed it. Why? When you improve your standard of living, whether it's through added conveniences or through toys, you do become happier. Your mood changes greatly. And when that happens, you're in a state of mind in which you want to be able to give back to others. Or you're in a state of mind in which you want to be able to pursue your purpose, which in case is serving humanity, in other words, giving back to others. So it's still the same thing. So with that mindset that I had, in which I want to first become financially free and then secondly become rich, in other words, I realized by doing so, I'm making myself a better version of myself. But as a result of becoming a better version of myself, I'm able to better serve other people as a result. So if that's you, if you're interested in not only just maybe buying your first property, becoming financially free, scaling your portfolio to the moon, if that's you, then I highly recommend for you to watch this free training that we have. This training will help you to accomplish your goals, so that way not only can you become financially free, but find your purpose so you can better serve humanity. All right, guys, so that's it. As always, this is to your success. Continue to earn passively, live passionately. Peace.